Hey, what up, y'all? So, oh man, it is a couple of things I wanted to go over and stuff while we're here, but it is what it is. So, I'm be playing some games or whatever, have it on the background, stuff like that, all that good stuff and everything. But let me just get to it. So we wake up this morning and we see that the DC boycott has been called off, and what they're saying is that I'm giving you the short version is that there's they didn't want to marginalize or leave out any other groups or something like that. And I'm paraphrasing. I'm paraphrasing only the way I can. You'll see what's going on. But my thing is that I made a post. I've made posts about it. I've made joking like reels about it and everything. But my thing is, in all seriousness, this was never about black people, because if you can get moved like that, it wasn't the black people. Because the funny part about a lot of this black representation conversations is they expose how little people actually care about building anything for black folks outside of mainstream approval. A lot of people don't want black independence, black ownership, or even black systems. They want black faces attached to already established systems. So they can feel included without taking any real financial or creative risks, because they're not creating, and if they are creating, and I'm gonna just be straight up, in folks like Ernie's case and stuff, you've been creating stuff for the longest and ain't nothing happened. You ain't did nothing, you ain't put nothing out, so you ain't what it's easier to try to demand somebody else put something in and tear up their table and just place yourself in at their table. So that's why folks fight harder for race swap legacy characters from Marvel or DC than they will for original black characters from independent creators. Because one already has legitimacy in the public eye. The other requires support, patience, investments, and that's what a lot of these people want to skip. It's hard to do what black creators do. It's hard to do what I see from the higher end indie creators to the lower end. And I've got stuff from just about everybody. So I support and read and stuff when I can. Not so much now because I've been focusing on some other stuff and doing and drawing and stuff myself and everything. So it hasn't been that, right? And and this is just, it's harder for them to make those things happen because it requires so much. And that was my thing when I was looking at it, that if you cared so much about that, why not replace that system? And this is the thing, boycott, and I'm probably going to go back over this, but boycotting in today's day and age is an old tactic. It's stupid. To me, boycotting is one of the dumbest things on the damn planet, because you have everything in place. You just have to go support that thing. And what people like to diminish or just completely look over when it came to boycotting back in the 60s and stuff like that, and every other time, black people had their own stuff. Now, everything wasn't the best. The stores weren't the best. The housing wasn't the best. The nightclubs wasn't the best. The doctors wasn't the best. And it wasn't the best because they didn't necessarily know what they were doing. It's because they didn't have the money. But when black people supported and they followed and kept other black people first, it caused the problems with those, like the Montgomery bus boycott. The reason why it worked is because black people started taking black buses, black cabs, all that stuff, and doubled down on that, carpooling with each other. And so when that money left, it was going somewhere else. And that's what y'all Negroes don't get. It's like, yeah, it's like, do you read? Do you pay attention to history? One of the things, Jackie Robinson wasn't special because he was the first black player. The white folks that owned the major leagues had to play it that way. The reason why Jackie Robinson and some of them other dudes were special was because the Negro leagues, and I always talk about this, the Negro leagues were making money during the Depression, during all kind of other stuff. All this bad, terrible stuff is going on around you. And these black people are out playing baseball and they're making money. And you can't understand why your league isn't making that much money. The major leagues, they're not making that much money. They go and it's just black people all in the stands. The reason why it worked is because black people got money from other business people. The Negro Leagues were funded by other business people, all black people, black families, husbands and wives that were dentists, homemakers, lawyers and stuff. They were funding the Negro Leagues. They kept everything affordable so the black people can go to it. When stuff started going crazy with banks and stuff, black people still had their own money, so they were able to go to them. So black people didn't have to go to the major leagues when they weren't letting them in or kicking them out. So this whole DC thing is like y'all don't want to do what requires us to get to where we want to be because you don't see legitimacy in it. And that's my problem. I can't play this game with y'all and play stupid when everything that you're asking for exists. And if you put the money into it, it would give all of them, other black creators, whether it's male, female, gay, black, white, black, mixed black, there's all kind of black creators there. And I'm like, there's black creators in manga, there's black creators in comics, there's black creators in animation. But you're demanding that they do it, and you talking about not spending with them. And then I see a video with I don't even know who the white dude that was in to be kicking it with JP or something. And I don't mean to say white dude. I don't know his name. I just know he a white dude with glasses and a beard. And he's talking about it and talking about JP is asking, what would you have me do? What do you mean? What would you have you do? What we have you do? What we saying is, hey, everything that you're talking about, put a focus on that. It can be done. And there ain't no doing both because we've been doing both and that ain't been working. Folks been doing both, supporting this, supporting DC, supporting Marvel, and you ain't been getting what you want. You have people out here that need your support, that you can get the thing done that you want done. But if you're not doing if you're not supporting them, if you're not highlighting them, if you're not putting them on stage, nothing's going to happen. Because the thing about it is like DC and everybody know that all you're going to do is complain and you're going to come back. You're going to come back or you want a job and you want to get paid. And so it's all of this is the same thing folks do politically. Every other group is allowed to organize in around their own interests, economics, immigration, religion, or culture without being called divisive. But the second black Americans and black folks specifically ask, what are we going to get? It becomes a problem. And that's what was going on. And that's what's going on right now. Suddenly here come the coalition speeches. The we all minorities. And suddenly we can't do anything without including everybody else. And the thing about it is, this was not about including gay black people because gay black people are a part of that. Trans black people are a part of that. They ain't getting no creations. They ain't getting no stories out there neither. In DC, they weren't getting any of that either. So what are we talking about? But so it wasn't about being black, black and gay or LGBT. It was about, hey, you Negroes ain't gonna do none of this unless you make this a minority for all banner or Black Lives Matter, including everything else and all the other silly mess that black people keep going for. And it keeps happening. And it's like nobody tells other groups to stop and include black people asking for resources for themselves. When they ask for resources for themselves, nobody's asking, hey, can y'all do the same thing? Hey, can y'all include black people? But black folks consistently are consistently expected to do that same thing. Emotionally, politically, culturally, everything. It's always bring everybody else in. And it's wild. It's wild. And we keep getting hit over the head. And I'm like, nah, man. From the outset, I was like, no, this is some other stuff. That's why more people are starting to side-eye these type of movements and hashtags. Because too often black people provide the energy. We provide all the energy. The culture, the outrage, the votes, the attention, or everybody else walks away with the protections, the resources, and the long-term benefits and stuff. And so while we sitting here talking about some blacking out DC, everybody else gonna get stuff. And they told them, the people that they obviously went to try to get some type of understanding from, told them, hey, you better go on somewhere else with that. Because if you want to include these other people, you ain't getting in here. And that's why I don't play this game with y'all when it comes to these politicians and stuff either. Because it's the same thing going on with when Biden got in office. He told black folks, you better get up with the Mexicans. You better get up with them because y'all ain't about to be nothing. White people about to be messed over, and you better get up with everybody else. And black folks go along with it. Just look like little sad, scalded dogs and go along with this mess. And the corporations on that too. That's why they keep selling symbolism instead of actual investments. They don't have to sell anything because black people going to keep going for it. They know social media noise is loud, but loud ain't the same thing as building, buying, funding, or supporting something long term. It doesn't matter how much you shouting on social media about who need to do and how they need to do everything. At the end of the day, ownership is what's important. But you don't want ownership. You want proximity to whiteness and power. And you build that power through the ownership. You build that power through going through all of the ups and downs. So when I hear people like Eric July and other people say that these folks are activists, and I think they fake activists. They trying to get into that bag, but they ain't got no fucking backbone, so they're not really activists. And when I hear them say that, and it's like that they're just trying to move in and make whatever, I agree with that. Because you spending most of your time, you're not creating. You haven't created the thing you said because it's hard. It's easy to get up here and talk and get attention from folks. It's a lot easier than creating, especially if you're trying to do it yourself. And that's the problem. So I can't, and I feel like again, I'm all over the place because I've been thinking about a lot of stuff and I don't want to keep talking about this. But it's just a bunch of these dudes, they have no interest in doing and building for themselves. And they have no interest in actually building with any of these other black people. I go to California, I go to Detroit, I go to the South, I do conventions out here, I do my own conventions. There's so many black people that if we decided to just take that money and put it into that would be a major threat. But they don't want to be a threat. They don't want to be a threat. They want to scare corporations into doing things for them. They don't want original black characters. They hardly want original black characters in Marvel and DC. They want the race swap characters because that's who they've seen themselves as. Because that's where the power is to them. They don't want original black characters even from them. They want to see themselves as Superman. And if you don't want to see yourself as Superman, you a lie. You trifling. You hate black people. And they doing the same political moves that these Democrat Negroes do. And again, I don't have a side with anybody, whether they Democrat, Republican, or anything. I don't have a side with none of these folks. But I watch this. I'm 43 years old, and I've been seeing the crap all my life. I'm not listening to somebody tell me that's not what it is. If you believe that's not what it is, you go play that with them. But this is a goofy ass thing, and acting like you don't know what to do. The only way you change that is if you take your funds and you go support black creators. And when I talk about support black creators, all of them motherfuckers that was talking about boycotting DC, they should be making consistent videos about black creators. They should be consistently interviewing black creators. They should be consistently getting up with black people that review black books, and they should be talking about black books. They should be getting up with these black conventions and giving and doing whatever they can, money-wise or whatever, to these black creators. They should be doing things to where they can fly these black creators in and get them paid. These are the things that folks should be doing. I can say that because I do that. No matter what nobody say, I can say that because I do it. So you ain't gonna hear nobody in the black community. Like, you may not like what I say online, but none of these creators, whether cosplayers, whoever else, not gonna say that I don't support and I don't do what I'm talking. None of them, because I do care about black creators, and I do care about things getting done. But this whole trying to make somebody else do and then acting like boycotting is going to work, it's a damn joke. And it's always that. The joke is always that they want power or proximity to whiteness, meaning they want the characters to be those characters or to stand so close to them you can't tell the difference. Or they want money for themselves. That's what it always is. It's the same thing that Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, and all them other folks did and have done. It's no different. It's the same thing they was doing with Costco, Sam's Club, Target, and everything else. It's the same goofy mess. And I don't boycott nothing with these niggas. Because if you wanted to, you could replace it. They don't say, hey, we're going to boycott and we're going to completely replace that system with something else. It's no, integrate us into that system so we can be cool. And I can't play that with y'all. So take it how you want to. It is what it is.